Hey. Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about um, stepping into new versions of yourself and, the fear of being seen. My name is Salvi. I am a life coach and spiritual advisor. I do also do tarot readings from anything between shadow work to liminal spaces, grief, all of those types of things. And I do have it my website linked in my bio. But yeah, I just felt called to talk about this. Stepping into a new version of yourself is something that is not easy, and it's something that is very bold because most people believe it or not, a vast majority of people through their lifetime, they refuse to grow or step into new versions of themselves. And I feel like especially in the spiritual community, there you can have an ego death so many times and become someone new so many times and shed the past of who you were. And I think it's something that is necessary because we are not always the same. We're not always this like we're not it's like just like how life is not always like an constant up or a constant down. Things are always shifting, and it comes with a lot of grief and insecurity around whether the world is going to accept you as this new person that you've become. But I think that really relies on whether you accept yourself for who you've become. Before anyone can accept you for you, you have to accept yourself. Because if you're constantly trying to find that acceptance in someone else, you're going to constantly be chasing for that external validation. And it's external validation is okay, but it's not okay when it's all that you rely on to satisfy your self-esteem and satisfy the identity that you how you identify yourself, right? And when it comes to truly not seeking external validation, what you really have to do is, I always say this, like figure out like what means the most to you. And once you do that, and it can change whenever you want it to change, but once you do that, stick to that and know that you will flourish and know that you are strong and dedicated to whatever that is that you choose, whatever set of rules, morals that you choose for yourself, as well as literally it's simply believing that you no longer need it. And once you start like feeding into your mind, oh, I'm not going to keep looking for this, I'm not going to keep asking for this, or like allowing or not allowing, but catching yourself when you're in moments of like, for me, I'd always have moments of like, I used to have this thing where I always would like go to people and ask them for like, oh, should I do this? Or, oh, should I do that? Or do I look good in this? Or do I look good in that? And it's literally once I stopped doing that, once I stopped pining for people's attention and pining for people's validation and what like I wanted to do, that started to build more like a stronger self-esteem with inside of myself and a stronger trust with myself because I'm like, oh, now I changed the narrative from like, oh, like do they like it to, oh, do I like this? Oh, does this make me feel good? I more so started to shift my mind set from like, oh, what does other people like, to more me focused instead of being other people focused, right? And this also helped me like when it came to like being seen on public platforms. Like before, I did not talk about anything. I just posted like my face and left at that. Like I kept everything surface level because I was too afraid. I was afraid of more. I was afraid of being judged. But I've always been a very very open person. But I was afraid of what other people would think. But I had to realize that was also like that need for that external validation when in reality, posting, talking, creating open spaces and open discussions is something that makes me happy. Like seeing people not afraid to be themselves or just talk freely. That's something that brings me a lot of peace, as well as like, to be honest, I only started posting because a psychic told me, they were like, oh, you'll find love if you post on social media. That's how you'll find love. And I Did it ever come? No. But what the type of love that I did find is a radical self-love. And I'll take it, take the small wins, or to be honest, it's a big win. Self-love is such a big win, and it really takes a lot of guts continuing to just post and post and post. And at first you may not believe in yourself, and you may not believe, like, and you may doubt yourself or get scared and delete some videos, re-edit some videos. I've been there. But in time, the more you post, the more you're like, hey, fuck it, I'm not judging myself, so I don't care if anyone else is judging me. The way I see it is like a lot, like when it comes to like negative comments or negative people or people who judge me or who don't believe me, that's fine. That's their reality. Let them live in it. But I'm living in a reality where I'm always validated, not by anything external, but validated by myself. Because sometimes once you go through, like me, I've gone through periods of like not having anyone and being in extreme isolation, and I found and finding that validation within myself was like an ultimate act of self-love, like to care for myself and to care enough to like validate my emotions and my needs, because that's kind of something that I need and I wasn't getting from anyone else. And yeah, once you start doing that, once you start validating yourself, like it gets easier to post, it gets easier to talk about your story. And I was going to say that, like, I start seeing like the negative comments and like people who don't believe me as past mirrors, as test of like, oh, are you going to allow this? Are you going to allow this false mirror? Are you going to allow this to bring you back into the old version of yourself? And that's why I just ignore it and I don't let it bother me. And like sometimes, no, not really. They don't really get to me at all. But yeah, once you start doing that, it becomes so much more freeing, and you start seeing how freeing, like, once you start being able to just express yourself and talk about like the things that you've gone through, like it literally frees you. The world becomes so much more freeing, and you're able to not only create a new shared reality with people who can relate and who have the same understanding, but also create a new reality in which you not only have the freedom of expression of yourself, but but the chances and the opportunities to find happiness in yourself, because now you're not withholding so many things. Because I feel like once you withhold the art of expression within yourself, that creates spiritual blockages. So yeah, I was gonna do a little tarot today, but I was like, this is what I'm gonna talk about today, and I hope it finds everyone well. Also, y'all heard that like the new alien sighting? Literally my last video, did I not say like contact was coming? I didn't know when it was coming though, but they talked about contact coming. Literally, I talked about how I wonder like what are we gonna see next, right? And like I've been reading like so many different books and like how it talks about like alien sightings and things like that. I'm like, oh wow, it's so cool. Like I just wonder like how things will develop. I think it's just amazing. And I think that it will be a turning point for us in the collective to see something that has never been seen before. But hopefully, I just hope it's not. I hope it's not reptilians. Because then that would be bad. And because I feel like what I channeled could go either way. It could either be like, this arrival is not a good sign and we need to stand up to the arrival, or this arrival is to help us. But we'll see. I think the fact that we're seeing aliens means we're on a good timeline, right? So see you guys later.